All right, guys. Good morning. I think we are live. Still a little bit under the weather today. I'm here on Codex again, and gonna stop out if it goes above 1750. I had originally gotten in on a pre-market trade here just because it looks like there's a lot of weakness and there's a lot of room for it to run down today. I promise I am not revenge trading on this. I missed out on some pretty big gains Friday. For those of you who saw that live stream or the video recap, or if you had a chance to check out this weekend's episode of The Trader's Mind. And so I really was not specifically looking to come in on this morning, but the like I said, the price action seemed to be good. The pattern seemed to be good. And I've done so much pre-market trading in the past. Now, I'm not saying that all of my pre-market trades are perfect, but I've done enough in the past to have a pretty good feel for the direction of some of these stocks. Now, you set your stops and you get out. You get out when you have to. So, and that's pretty much what I'm going to end up doing here. So, I don't want to let it go too much against me. I actually had a decent trade going on, and I was up. I don't know how much at one point, but my P&L, if I had taken everything between APT and Codex at one point, I was up like $345. So, some of this stuff is starting to turn around a little bit, and so I'm going to try to be mindful of that. But yeah, if I see this breaking out past 50, I'm going to have to take it. So, what I'd really like to see is a rejection here and just a complete rundown and a break back down through these levels. So I think if we break back down through 17, we have a chance to actually run and carry out the full move that we were going for here. There's a lot of room for this stock to run right now, so it's just worth it to me to try to figure out if this is something I can be profitable on. Let's see. I need to get over on APT and check that out. I don't want to lose anything on that. So one thing about pre-market, you cannot set stop orders. They just don't register in pre-market for some reason. If we can get a break of 17, I'll move over to APT. May even consider adding in again on Codex. So this could be a total rejection here. Okay, let's go over it on APT. So APT looks like it really did not bounce at any critical levels. I think it could still end up going down. So let me go back on Codex here. Let's see what this is looking like. I may add to my position if we see confirmation below these levels here. That was a somewhat of a significant bounce. But what I'm really looking at here on Codex is kind of what we would consider a head and shoulders pattern. I'm also looking at that on APT. But we've got the shoulder, we've got the head, and we've got another shoulder here. This is the neckline, though. We want to see a break of $11 today. And if we can see a break of $11, I think we'll get a significant move down from there. So just trying to be patient at this point, guys. Good morning, Notre Dame. Good to see you here in the chat again. So, for those of you now just joining, I had actually jumped in on a pre-market trade on CODX and APT. Again, I will restate this. I promise I am not revenge trading this. For those of you who were here last week, you know that I had a pretty significant, or I missed. I didn't really take a huge loss or anything. It's more so that I missed out on some pretty huge gains on CODX, and I said I was not going to come in here revenge trading this. But the thing is it performed a pretty good pre-market setup, and so we've got this again, this head and shoulders pattern that may at least be coming down to to test the neckline, and so I just think the probabilities are pretty great on that. Especially this weekend, we didn't really seem to have any kind of horrible news, as far as like the coronavirus is concerned and anything like that. I mean, it seems like it's pretty much under control. So some of these stocks that were running up, I think based on some of that news or in connection and link with some of that news. I think there's a pretty good chance that we'll begin to start seeing some follow through to the downside on them. These stocks were way overpriced, way overvalued, and so you can find good moves on them. You can find good moves on them. Now I am looking right now for CODX to break 1611. It has to do this during pre-market, or I cannot stay committed to this stock. So I may even consider pulling some shares off the table if it seems like, because what we could start getting is this stair-stepping pattern up. If it can't even test the support here. So see how it's kind of running back up. But we've kind of been respecting a trend line here, so it's given me a little more confidence on it. We'll see how this resolves. I may end up having to just get out and take a little bit of a loss on this, but more bad news, expecting some form of irrational reaction as cases stateside has tripled since last week. Tripled since last week. Well, the thing is, though, is at least from what I was like, I know that there are various there are not various, that's not the word I'm looking for. There are varying headlines on this right now. According to everything that I saw, in other words, when I made the statement that there wasn't any kind of major news that would increase the value of these stocks that have been spiking based upon a lot of that news. What I was saying is, even though, yes, we're still, we get little notes here and there of some stuff. We see some warnings of some things. I'm going to go ahead and take 50 shares off if it breaks 17. Just in case. We've seen little notes here and there. And there's still, what we have to constantly keep in mind that the media will trump things up as long as they possibly can. Okay, and it's not to say that that the cases that are being reported are being are false narratives or anything, or is false reporting. I'm going to go ahead and take 50 off here. So that might not have been a good move. I mean, it's not really having any kind of a strong breakthrough 17, but just in case. Media people just pushing viewership fear in these pharma companies and enjoying it. Absolutely. So that's why I said, like, the overall, like, the overarching theme over the weekend was not anything devastating. Okay. And so I'm not, I mean, here's the thing. Even as traders, most of the times we trade charts. We don't trade fundamentals. But I think in a case like this, fundamentals are a little bit more important. And so, we should be to some degree paying attention a little bit more to fundamentals. But right now we've got a couple things going on. I mean, we've got the whippiness of first of all, the massive down move of the S&P 500. I don't know if anybody really knows what's going to happen with it today. We could be at the start of a V-shaped recovery. Okay, so that's one thing to look at. Um, and so we've got this, we've got even politics, Super Tuesday coming up, we've got coronavirus, and all I'm saying, just kind of back to my point about the coronavirus is I just don't know. Even though and again, even though we're trading technicals, we're trading the charts. We are in a time where we do have to pay a little bit more attention to the fundamentals. But I feel like the general overall sentiment of the fundamentals concerning the coronavirus, I don't know if it's strong enough to push these stocks back up. But anyway, you are far less cynical than I. I believe they know what they're doing. No, I'm right there with you. I think they know what they're doing too. No, I don't. Excuse me. I didn't mean to come across as no. I'm all about, like, I think the media is I think there's a lot of corruption even between. I think there's a lot of political lobbying. I think there are things that are done, whether it's government related or I mean just the media in general. Like, a lot of people forget that the media, these are journalists who are looking to boost their careers. Who can write the best article, who can create the best headlines using the best buzzwords that's going to get more people to buy the magazines or subscribe to the journalist websites, or what's going to increase the viewership on on these television network news stations. What's going to because obviously you increase viewership, they can raise the cost of advertising, and it's what pays the bills. It's what keeps the lights on. It puts the dollars in the pockets of the people at the network. Like, so I absolutely agree 100% that journalism is a lot of drummed up stuff for multiple reasons, whether it's a political bias, whether it's people just trying to come up with the most creative content and drive fear and with headlines that they know that will sell and boost their careers and bring dollars into the network, or the news station or whatever. I think it's all of that. I think it's definitely all of that. And then I do believe that you've got people who are genuinely trying to report the news. You've definitely got people out there who have a passion for the truth and they want the truth to get out. But yeah, there's a lot of this going on, without a doubt. Anyway, let me give a quick pre-market analysis. Okay, so mRNA is going to be one that I'd probably end up watching today. I mean, it is forming an interesting daily chart. This is a tough one to trade, though. It really is a tough one to trade. But I've done so well with it, and I think the reason I did well with it is because I took, I made $700 on this stock alone during a trade last week, and it was because I was taking small share size. And so, and one thing I know about mRNA is it does have a tendency to respect trend lines. So I'm just going to be watching it. TVIX, I don't know, like with the SPY where it is right now, I don't know if I can even justify messing around with the TVIX. So I'm actually going to come in here and move that kind of down towards the bottom of the list. I mean, I'll definitely come check it out. But I don't know if I'm going to be doing any TVIX trading today. Twitter, there was some kind of news on this. But of course, I don't know. It's hard to call it. I mean, it looks like this could be somewhat of a double top. We could get a short out the gates, but I don't know. There's this is something that I'm just keeping on watch for later because it's looking interesting enough to possibly get a gap fill, especially if the S&P 500 is doing well, but I'm going to move that further down on the list. NVAX. Actually, there was another one. Let's see. JD's got significant volume, 1.3 million shares. Excuse me. I'm still a little under the weather, guys, by the way. Okay, Codex looks like it could come up. So I'm going to go ahead and actually just get out on CODX if it breaks this 9 EMA, because we've been respecting it down to this point. So I think if we come above it, I just need to be ready to get out on this. Let's see here. I'll keep it on watch. I mean, it's not going to run too much away from me, I don't think. 1750 is definitely the breaking point for that. Part of me wants to stay on it, though. Part of me wants to stay on it because, I mean, this would be a perfect moment for it to roll over. But I'll tell you what, if it breaks, I'll have to take it. So JD, there's another one that might be DLP, was it? Or BLDP? Spready, you have to locate. I don't know. NNVC, that's kind of been another one. This looks like this could get some downside momentum. And VAX is another one. But you got to locate. Looks like we could see some downward momentum here. Okay, I got to get out of Codex. It's breaking 9 EMA. So, I mean, the key is staying above the 9 EMA. So, this could just be squeezing some people out. Could still get a breakdown. But I am going to have a stopping point on this. I don't... Okay, probably going to pop and then drop it open seems to be usual Codex behavior. Yeah, but I still, right now, I would take that opportunity as it comes. I kind of want to be careful. Like I said, if it pops and closes above this 9 EMA, I mean, we're nearing the opening bell, so I just don't know. I don't know how much I want to. Let's see, another one we're looking at this morning, so I'll give this another chance to do what it does. Another one I'm looking at this morning is, so I'm looking at JD, and I'm also looking at Zoom. I mean, there's not a ton of volume on this, but it's one of those, like, those $100 stocks that could end up moving pretty quickly. I mean, you could jump in this with, like, 50 shares. And it drops just $3 and, you've made $150. And for small share size, I mean, that's pretty good. And that's obviously if I was shorting it. But it's spready, so I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put that on here. I'm going to put JD. I'm going to put Zoom. And I think Tesla is another good one to watch today. And I know I'm not, I know I'm really kind of selling us short here as far as the, I'll leave that down there. Like, I'm not really going through these trades a lot right now. I know I'm just kind of following the story as we go. Let's see. I know I'm not really breaking it down. If it flushes it open, that would be a move I would be salty to miss. I understand why you are holding. Yeah, I am. Before 9:30, I am going to set a hard stop on CODX. I really don't want to do that, but I'm going to set a hard stop. And I'm going to go ahead and set, let's see, another 75 shares. We'll say 77 shares at, I think, the break of 1945 stop, or 1940, yeah. Hopefully I can get those. And then I think we can see a huge move down on APT today. And then let's see, CODX. CODX. Okay, so we did get that fail. We did get that fail on the 9 EMA. So if it pops above 1730, I'm going to want to get out these 50 shares. So I'm going to go ahead and put that at, let's see, 1730. Stop buy. APT, we want to see a continued move down. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get out. So there we go. Good move on APT. Says 77. Why did it not take? Oh, it must have just blown by my stop. Come on. Now I got to hold on to these forever. Now I got to hold on to them forever. Oh, come on. You guys are killing me. Let's see if I can get, let's see if we can get a break of 18. If not, I'll go ahead and get out some of my shares. Come on. We're getting close. I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this right now and see if I can get a fill. Increase my share size, because if we break through this, this will be significant. Otherwise, I'll have to just get out. Looks like we're getting a solid break of 18, just about. Nope, almost. This is where it's kind of like, I may just have to get out. Okay. Sorry for all the racket my son's making, by the way. There we go. Wasn't a strong break. I do not like that. There we go. Okay, so now we're getting a stronger break on this. Okay. See how long we can hold this 177 shares. Once we get past, 300, I'll start partialing out on the bid. Okay, so I'm going to start partialing out. There we go. Took a partial right there. We're down to 133. CODX looks like it's making a good move. I need to set a stop here, just in case it doesn't break down through. Well, I'm just going to partial out again. I'll partial out on the ask once we break 100 or 200, excuse me. There we go. So I'm going to partial out another there. CODX. Are we getting a legit move on this? 1623. I did get 400 shares to short on this today, so I kind of would like to see this move. I'll go ahead and take 100 shares here. We're in 150 shares with a 1575 average. If it starts coming over 16, I'll just stop out. There's no reason to. Well, wait a minute. Let me double check that. Yeah, we need to see follow through. I want to see follow through on this. Come on. Push down. Let's get that flush. There we go. Come on. Needs to be stronger than that. Needs to be stronger than that. We need a stronger flush than this. Okay. All right. I've got to come out 75 shares there. So we've got 75 at 1551. APT could be struggling. No, I think it's okay. We're on a halt. Good. Good for APT. All right. Let's see. I want to see a break of 1530. That should be huge if we get a break of 1530. There we go. I may want to add again. See if we can add again at the break of 15, yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and add there. 1523, we got a 175 average. Come on, we need to see a flush. There we go. I'll start partialing out on the bid, I think. I want to see if it gets into that halt. Maybe I'll partial out on the ask, actually. There we go. Let's break 1450. Let's get into that halt. This would be pretty clutch right here. There we go. Come on. Okay. I've got to start partialing out. Well, yeah, I'm going to partial out a quarter there. So there we go. 132 at 1513. If this comes over 15, I'll probably get out. No reason to not see if this can't resolve down to 1396. Okay. So I'm getting out half my shares there. It might have been dumb, but again, you know, right now for me, it's about staying in the profit. There's no reason to take a loss on this if it whips back and does something stupid. So now what I might be willing to do, let's see here. Let me look at the 5-minute. I suppose I'd be willing to let that 66 shares run up to $15.60 to see if we get a VWAP rejection. And then I would add 2. So I'd be fine with that. We're still on an APT halt. It looks like APT is going to get a critical drop. We're breaking some extremely critical levels right now. We can make another $3 move past this, guys. I really hope we do. On that last 100 shares, that would that'd make for a really good day. So let's see if we break 1411. We're going for the neckline. Remember, guys, today we're going for the test of the neckline. We got a potential head and shoulders pattern, but you know, the thing with head and shoulders is you've got to break the neckline. A lot of people don't think about this. You know, they'll take these wonky, weird-looking like they're semi head and shoulder patterns, but and then it comes down close, and they're like, "Oh man, this is going to go down." No, look, there's a very critical neckline here at $11. Okay, this is where it's touched down basically at that level multiple times. It's a clear neckline. It's even a previous area of resistance. So we need to see a clear break of $11 to know that this is actually breaking the head and shoulders pattern. CODX is having trouble at these levels. So, you know, I'm thinking what I may do since I'm well into the profit. I mean, you know, if it comes up over 15, I'll take it, and then I'll see if it has a VWAP rejection. If it does, then I'll add. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if this breaks 15, I'm just going to put out the 66 shares. We'll do a hard stop. Stop at 14.99. Stop. Buy. I put it at 14.99 because the thing is you know, oftentimes it'll just flush straight past 15, which obviously it didn't even do. So, but watch, if this breaks 15, it's going to be a hard break on 15. Okay, APT is back in the mix. Let's see if we can get a continued move down on these 100 shares. I might even take another partial, or I may just add 2. I'm going to consider adding 2 actually, because we got an 1807 average. This can come up. This can come up a good bit. Let's look at the 5-minute. I think if it broke VWAP, I'd be more inclined to get out. So I'm not going to add 2. I'll see about breaking if it breaks VWAP. And what I might do is go ahead and, okay, so I'm going to take half my shares off here. We have an 1807 average. Okay. We're up 500 on the day, guys. I will consider adding them. I wish I knew what some of these other stocks we're doing right now. I really want to focus on this one. I do not want this one to blast against me, and I want to be able to get a good add in. So this broke these levels. This is extremely bearish right here. This is extremely bearish, and I think a lot of people know it. So we'll give it a shot. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know. Looks like it wants to push. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add. Let me see. Let me see here. I'm looking at the time in sales. Okay, so all right, I'm going to get out on the obviously I did not add. Here's what I'm looking at. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. But we could get an add at those levels up there. I still feel I've got confidence on this right now because let me see. Hold on. It's hard for me to do two things at once. Sorry, guys. I've got confidence on this because of the daily chart. So I don't want to be too quick to pull out. Yes, it could make a recovery, but what it could do doesn't mean that that's what it is going to do. We're up 508, so I'm fine to hold and I'm fine to take a loss. It is what it is. Looks like we're getting a rejection. Ah, dang it. Okay. All right, I couldn't get in on it, guys. So I'm going to start setting levels here, because if we get this crack down through 1588, that'll be pretty significant. So we are going to, I'm going to go ahead and get in. I've got an average now at 1754. I'll probably have to get out at the break of VWAP. Otherwise, I want to take another, let's see, 1620. Stop. Another 50 shares at 1620. In anticipation of the break of not only low of day, but the move down on this daily chart. So where did it tap? 1650. All right. So now I'm going to go for 1635 stop sell. And I've got to watch this closely, because if it breaks back over, like I said, if it breaks back over VWAP, I'm not going to want to sit around for the choppiness of that. We're about to close out the 15-minute candle too, so that's something else that I'm looking at. We need to close below this 15-minute candle. Now, if we don't, that doesn't mean that we're not going down. It just means that temporarily we could come all the way back up and test these 1933 levels, and I honestly just I don't even want to halfway think about what happens if it does that. I mean, I don't want to have to hold on that long, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's whippy. This is whippy for sure. But I think if we break that level, 1651, 1651, stop sell. Still need to keep that order down there. We got 40 seconds left in this to see if we're going to close below that VWAP on the 5-minute and the 15-minute and all minutes. So let's see. And I do not want this to be, let's see. Yeah, if it breaks 1770, I've got to get out, because we're about to close on this candle. We need to see a major flush down right now. We need a major flush down. Come on. This is what I hate. It's going to close like right on VWAP. Okay. So I take off half. Let's see. Okay. Took off half there. Let's see. See if we're going to keep this as a descending trend line. There we go. Flush back down. Let's see what we can do. See if we can get that. This is the battle. This is like the bulls trying to hold the line. And if they can hold the line, it's not going to be good. And I'm going to need to get out. Open below the 20 on the 1-minute chart. I think I've told you guys plenty of times that the 20 moving average is very significant on the 1-minute chart. Got my hands on the got my finger on the trigger here, guys. 1651. 1751. There we go. I want to see confirmation. I want this trend line. There's a trend line here. I want this trend line to break. I don't want it to just break. I want it to close below it. Close below it and break through 1651. I think that'll be very significant. So I'm going to go ahead and set a stop to buy 50 shares at 18, because I would like to move on and check out some other stocks. Buy stop. Okay, so it's either going to sell into this, or it's going to tank, or it's going to come back up and get me out. And we could be getting ready to go into Chop Fest. You know, this could be another thing like what we saw on Friday, where it just whips back and forth for a while and then finally breaks. But all I know is this is extremely significant right here. Let me pull up the 20 and the... Yeah, this is extremely significant. Okay? This is very, very telling. It closed below this trend line, so we should be good to go. But it hasn't closed below it on the 5. A little more concerned about it on the 5. But I've got my stop set. So let's see what's happening on CODX. CODX is holding above the VWAP. Kind of had a bounce here, so I'm going to be careful with that. Not really going to mess with that too much. Here we go. I think we'll just stay up on this one right now, guys. This seems to be the money maker. I mean, we could end over $700-800 on this today if it works out. So by the way, if you've been able to hear my son in the background, I've got an eight-month-old here at the house, so he's my boy. He's my boy, but he's been fussy. Last week he was sick, and this week it's still lingering. There's something lingering. I don't know. I mean, we took him to the doctor. We may have to take him again, but he's been a little fussy, so my apologies if that's getting on anybody's nerves. All right. mRNA looks good just because it's up here at these levels, and I can easily see this being, look at the 5 minute, I could see this being a chop fest right now. I can't say that mRNA is really going to go anywhere, but if it broke through 2730, I would probably look to get out. But in the meantime, I think it's possible to get maybe a quick $40, $80 move on this. See what this does here. It made a strong VWAP recovery on the 15 minute. You know what? I'm going to leave that alone. Tesla's breaking VWAP. ZM made that move. ZM made that move. You could have taken 100 shares and made like $400 here. You could take 50 shares and made $200. So we'll continue to watch that. We'll see what that does. JD. Looks like this could almost be considered a double top. Almost. JD could be on its way to make a move down, but it's in the middle of a VWAP recovery, so I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait on some of this stuff, guys. There's no need to jump in on anything. I mean, we're doing really well on the day right now, so let's see. This could be actually significant on Twitter, but Twitter can be a little, I don't know. Twitter can be a little weird sometimes. NVAX. I don't know. AMD. This could be forming a trend line. This could be a bounce. It'd be interesting to see if it bounces off of this trend line. I'm actually going to go ahead and draw that out. Right there. It looks like it's perfectly respecting it. So if it does that, I might would take a long on that. Ooh. Talk about losing a lot of its value. W. Still not trading too many shares. LK breaking the 50-day moving average, but it's very whippy. I don't know if I would get in on that one. It's very whippy. LK was a stock that was really fun to trade for a while, but I don't know. It's not making up its mind anymore. It's very, very whippy. I think I'm just going to remove that. I think it'd be best to do that. A lot of the movement on these stocks is also dependent. Obviously, it's all dependent on the S&P 500 and what the market in general is going to be doing today. Roku might be about to make a close on the 15-minute below VWAP. That's pretty significant, but we'll allow that to work itself out. We'll see what it does. APT. Okay, APT had a close below the trend line on the 5-minute, but sell volume's wearing off. Doesn't mean it can't pick back up. I think anybody watching this today realizes that this could make a very significant move down. Could make a very significant move down. I mean, we broke very critical daily levels here. So see what it's looking like on the 1 minute and the 2 minute. I could see a curl. I could see it, doing this little curl around thing. I think if it does, probably would want to just go ahead and get out. Looks like a curling pattern. Got to be careful about those. We need to see a break. We need to see a break of 1680 and then again 1651. Definitely a break of 1680. I think that would be significant. But I don't want to average in until we actually get the break of this candle here, just because it's pretty significant on the 5-minute chart. So It's holding. It's holding right there. It's 1680. It really is. It's holding. It's holding. So I feel like if it breaks that, there we go. Okay, we just got the break. We're getting the rundown here. Okay, I'm in. I'm in. See, it's stopping right there at 1651. Ah. So I'm at. I've got. Oh, it didn't. It didn't take it. It cut through my order. What are you doing? There we go. Okay. 100 shares at 1676. Now we need to see resolution here. We need to see resolution. I don't want to see a battle. Not here. Not at this level. We need to make our way down to 1581 and keep it moving from here. So. I mean, on the 5-minute. Come on. There we go. There we go. Let's see it work down towards 16. Let's break 16. And then 1581 is really the next. I mean, we really want to see it get down to that level. And, you know, honestly, I really don't want to partial out, but I will partial out. I'd be more prone to add at that point, but man, I would hate for that to be a double bottom and then bounce. And you know, but again, we're up over 500 on the day. I really think it'd be worth it. Really think it'd be worth it. But just gonna watch this carefully. It's moving slowly. There's nothing quick about this, guys, which is what's making me a little nervous. But again, we're up on the day. I mean, even if we lost, you know, $50, $100, whatever, it's fine. There we go. I'm looking for a break of 1581. I'll look to add. I think I borrowed 200 shares on APT, so I should have another 100 in there to add. And I will add, and once it breaks 16, I want to see a strong break. I want to see a strong break. Come on. Let's look at the 2-minute, 1 minute. Last thing we need is a double bottom. I want to see a break there. I'll probably hold these shares to the break of VWAP. A lot of people could be looking at that. But again, you know, it's one of those things where, well, you know, it's like, what if it's just choppy? What if it's just really, really choppy, you know, until it makes that move down? So, I mean, that's what I'm looking for. It's really what I'm looking for right now. But obviously, you know, if it breaks VWAP, especially on the 15-minute, if we have two 15-minute closes above VWAP, I mean, I'm not gonna want to toy around with it. But the break of 16 now is going to be extremely significant. So I think what I would do is if it broke, I would add another 50 at the break of 1610. But we'll say 1607. Yeah. Stop sell. Because if it comes all the way back down here, 1606, 1602, I'm going to want to go ahead and capitalize on that. CODX looks like it could be getting ready to resolve. Yeah, very much looking like the same as APT. But definitely don't want to let it come past VWAP. 1735 would be the stop out point. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in. 1736 is where we will stop out. Okay. So now it's going to be 17. Okay, so here's the thing. So we broke this trend line, right? This is what I always start to look at. Come on. So we broke this trend line, but now, guys, we're looking at this kind of a trend line. I mean, this stock is technically moving up. We need to see a break. We need to see a break, and we need to see a break quickly. We need to get up below these levels here. We need to get below these levels here. Okay, so at this point, there's really no reason to play around with this. I mean, I think even if it breaks 1720, I'll even give it a little pop up over 1720. I'll say if it breaks 1725, stop by at that point. I mean, VWAP is 1733. So, I mean, because here's the thing. At this point, if it breaks this 5-minute candle, I may be thinking to myself, well, it may just pop out over, but then it could continue to press the VWAP. And then it may pop over VWAP, and I might be like, well, it's just a VWAP fake out. Yes, that's true. It could be. But then, it starts breaking out past all these levels, and then it's kind of like, well, wait a minute. It could be reversing. So I want this trend line to break. If it comes all the way back up, now I'm thinking if it comes all the way up to 17, it's just not even worth holding. It's not even going to be worth holding. You're bouncing off this trend line again. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. So see what this looks like on the, yeah, I mean, it's playing perfectly off this trend line, guys. So I don't want to play around with it. I mean, it's got to break. I need to see a flush. I need to see a definitive flush below this trend line. Otherwise, I'm just going to get out. Break even. It's not even going to be worth it past that point. Although, let me see if we could get, because it could form a tightening pattern, so I don't want to get out too early. In other words, it could come up again and retest and then flush down. So if it came up and retested again, okay, well, here's the story. It has not really closed above the 20 EMA on the 1 minute in quite a while. So I think that would be telling. You match that up with the previous 5-minute candle. It hasn't broken the previous 5-minute candle yet. 1719. Okay, so I'm going to move my stop to 1720. 1721. It's got to break 1720. So we're just gradually moving our stop down, guys. So that's pretty much all we're doing at this point. Like I said, we want to see just a massive flush below these levels here. So let me see here. Oh, it didn't take me out. Didn't 16. Let's look at this again. 16. Stop. So 1607. Stop, sell. 1601. Oh, 50. That's right. So we got to do 50 at 1607. Stop, sell 50. And then stop, sell another 50 at 1601. And we want to see an absolute crush to the downside here. Actually, I should do that at 1581. I'll tell you what, guys, this we could be going for a squeeze. We could be going for a squeeze. Excuse me. Every time it does not break this trend line, we are in greater risk of a squeeze. Let's see. Okay, now the previous 5-minute candle. So we're gonna move our stop down to $17. We'll even do 1701. Stop. So stop buy at 1701. Okay, we're either going to get the break of this trend line and a move down towards 1345, which I think is also where the 9 EMA 1378. Okay. All right. So I am almost tempted to just add right here. This is in anticipation of the break, just to make sure I don't miss out. I don't want to miss out on any of this. If we break this trend line, it'll be huge. This will be a phenomenally good move, if I may say. I'll tell you what, they are at war. The buyers and the sellers, the bears and the bulls, are at war. And I am one of the bears. The bull is charging. We need to claw their face off. That's what I want to see. We want to claw their face off. This may just pop up just to get me out. There may be just a quick short squeeze before this finally comes down and breaks trend line. I've seen that so many times. Look at that. Look at that pop up. Come on, guys. You got to be kidding me. I told y'all, it comes up. I got my stop set. Finally be out of this battle. But I will look for the retest. This will be the first time if this can close above the 20 EMA. That'll be an extremely bullish signal. on the 1 minute, at least a temporary bullish signal. I mean, it could, like I said, get a squeeze up to these levels or whatever before it rolls over and retest this trend line. But we really just want to see, I mean, we really want to see a slam down. Really want to see the bears step in. Claw the faces off. Claw these bull faces off. Nope. Okay. Ooh. Almost a retest of 17. It closed above the 20 EMA. The greater probabilities are that this is going to continue to go and at least test VWAP. Doesn't mean it will, but we're certainly sitting on greater probabilities. Now, if this closes immediately back below the 20, obviously, then we know that that was just a fake, temporary squeeze. But it's got to close. It's got to close immediately on the 1 minute right back below that 20. Kind of like this right here. It popped up, it closed, and then immediately came back down, and we saw that move there. Same thing here. It popped up, but then it immediately came back through it. If we can see that, if we can continue to see that, that's an extremely bearish signal. So, I mean, even though we are playing off of a bullish signal right now, it can change. It can change. So, question is are they going to buy above 1695? They're going to buy above that level. Are they going to break into the 17 level? Let's look at the 2 minute and see what kind of a story is being told here. The break of the 9 EMA is a little more significant too on the 2 minute. Now, really, it's the most significant on the 5 minute, the break of the 9 EMA. And of course, any longer time frame chart. This could be it. This could be it. Every time it hits this trend line, I'm hoping that this is going to be it. But we've got our stop set. Let me see. mRNA. Okay, so mRNA is actually coming up, bouncing off of these levels right here. Doesn't mean it can't continue to go up. It's got to. I mean, for the daily chart, it's not looking bad. It could push. It could push. mRNA could definitely push. But it's at a really nice level to go short. It really is. Because it's double topping. It's double topping right here. There's a lot of previous areas of support here. It could even be an average in strategy just to see if it ends up breaking through and testing these levels up here at 29. But it'd be one of those things where, you don't want to go in more than 50 shares or whatever. So I might actually... So I had 5.9 million shares. $77 would be where I would want to get out. I think I could... Let me see if it comes up into the 70s. I might consider going short. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and go short 200 shares on mRNA at 67. So I'll get out at the break of 77. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, boy, that just blew past. Look at that. That just blew completely past. Okay. Well, it's gotten away from me, so I'm going to see if I can hold for a minute. See if this ends up being resistance here, but no, it's a break. It's a pretty clean breakout. So I'll probably have to get out. Let's see. See what it does. Okay. Still looks like it's meeting resistance, but I'll give it a shot real quick. Let's give this a chance. Just gonna start tanking. Where would it come down to? We look for a, okay, APT, I'm out. I need to see a lot of buying here. Buy volume is kicking in, but let's see. Okay, gonna get out half there. And yeah. Okay, guys, I'm out. Let's see. So let's look at APT. APT totally respected that trend line. Told you, we get, we get this. I mean, look at this. It's just a perfect example of what a short squeeze looks like. Watch, it'll come down here now, test these levels. Look at this on the 15-minute. We could get a solid breakdown of those levels. Tesla did end up coming down too. I did think about going short here. I should have went short, but I did not. ZM, volume's still pretty good on this. JD, could be forming a trend line here. Twitter, not moving enough for me. VAX, just gonna remove that. AMD AMD broke the trend line. Okay, that's significant. Let's see if this is another trend line it's respecting. Could be. Still weak. W, not a lot of volume. Gonna remove that. TVIX, not too worried about that today. S&P 500. Kind of got a little doji going on the daily. Sitting between two critical areas of support. Let's see. Codex. I've got 400 shares that I can use on Codex. mRNA is bullish as all get out. AMD is definitely making a move down. I should have jumped in on that one, and it broke this second trend line. So, but it also follows the SPY. So, okay, I'm going to take a shot on this one. Obviously, if it breaks, I'll start with 100 shares, and obviously if it breaks 50, I'll have to get out. So we're going to go short there, and yeah, 1551. Stop buyback there. That'll be pretty significant on this one. Otherwise, we need to look for a final move to the downside. See what kind of a trend line we're looking at here. So we would want to see it breaking 1461. Probably going another 100 shares there. So I want to know if this breaks 15. So alert price, let's say 1590 on the bid add. Go for a solid breakdown there, and then go ahead and put in a move for 1460 stop sell. Okay, guys, I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. So ZM was it? AMD. Pretty significant close below that trend line. But it looks like it's hitting a double bottom over here. See if it comes back up. Might take another stab at it. I would love to see this APT 15-minute candle close below VWAP and then start breaking these levels, breaking that trend line. I would jump back in. mRNA is just really working its way back. Working its way back for a retest of 30. I mean, it's pretty significant, guys. I don't even know if I would want to get in on this one. This is, like I said earlier, I mean, this is a very, very tricky stock. Just is. It's very tricky. Why did my alert never go off? 1590, but oh, I meant 1490. Come on. See a break on the 5 minute below that trend line. It would be very significant. APT, same thing. Close out here. That's a great closeout for APT. And that's a really good closeout for CODX. I don't know if I need to add actually with CODX. I mean, yeah, it's a little too whippy. A little too whippy, but I guess I'd rather add on the pullback if I was going to add. So this was significant. This was significant for APT. It was like a double topped. It really couldn't break these levels back here. So, I might actually be inclined, depending on what this does, to add back in and wait for the final break here. I think we're going to get it. I think it's just kind of like, you know, a matter of when. But I think we're going to get the break of this trend line. And I think when we do, it'll be big. And I think when we do, I'll want to be in on it. So I need to be thinking about that as well. So I'm going to start sizing in a little bit here. Start sizing in, taking 50 shares to start. I think at the break of 1660, I might want to get in with, we'll say 1659. Stop, sell another 50 shares, and then at the break of 16. Let's see, we'll even say, where is this here, 1606. We'll do that, and then we'll do that. Okay. So let's look at CODX. CODX is holding though. This is what bugs me. I mean, it's just playing games here. Like this needs to go straight down. Like what are you doing? What are you doing, Codex? What are you doing? You're below the trend line. You broke the previous 5 minute highs. You could not get above VWAP 4 times on the 5 minute. You couldn't get up there twice on the 15 minute. Like, what are you doing? Just give up. Give up. Tap out. It's time. It's time. It's time. We can get a good solid $2 move down at least. And I would love to break the neckline at 11. I would almost hold on to the last final piece just to see if we could do that. But it's just, you know, I mean, but you have to look at the technicals. You have to watch what's going on. I mean, there has not been any kind of heavy major sell off. Okay, looks like we're starting to get it now, but we don't know. I mean, you know, we've got a huge order at the 50s, 1450s that we have to blow through. So, and just kind of stop there, you know, and that kind of meets here where the first sell-off came down to at the opening. So, but if we blow past that, we blow past 1425. I mean, we should be in business. So, and I might even add there. But a lot of ifs, a lot of ifs then. But that's what trading's about. If then statements. You form your if then statements, and you stick to them. You know, if it does this, then I'll do this. If it does that, then I'll do whatever. You know, so um, last thing I want to see here is just some huge buyback to VWAP. I mean, that would just be ridiculous. We need to see a fail, an epic fail, sell off. APT found its way back above VWAP on the 5-minute. So APT's giving us a bit of a hard time. We broke through a very critical daily level, so I'm still very bearish on this. But you know, it's right now it's just choppiness. It's choppiness. Um, so who knows? I mean, we need to see some volume come in. We really do. We need to see some volume come in. You know, they're all just kind of leveling up, so to speak. Codex, I think I'd go another 50 share short at the break of 1450. And then I would do 1425, yeah? I think is what we said. So Codex is leveling up, APT leveling up. Want to see a rejection. Want to see a final rejection and a final flush down. mRNA massive sell-off at 30. Massive sell-off at 30. Yeah, makes sense. 2877. Man, that would have been a perfect for a revenge trade. So that's critical. That's critical. Don't want to chase it. But I'll tell you what, I mean, if it keeps going. APT coming down to test. What do we say? 59, 16, 59, 16, 25, 1606. that whippy action. Look at that. It's just choppy. Every time it hits that trend line, guys, it gets. This is why I said if it breaks this trend line, it should do a lot more damage than what Codex is doing with its trend line. This has been just majorly respecting. But again, bearish on the daily, bearish on the 15-minute. Can't maintain above VWAP. This could be it. This could be it. This could be where we go. Codex is wanting to shoot right back up above that trend line. 1531. APT respecting that trend line. This is crazy, guys, but I'll tell you what, if it goes, it's going to go. If it goes, it's going to go. Oh yeah, I've got to stop at 1551, yeah. Goodness gracious, made it back above that trend line. We need to make sure that it does not close above that trend line on the 15-minute or the 5-minute. Okay, if APT did that, why is it not giving me the shares? It's right on the trend line. Come on, guys. There we go. Trendline rejection on Codex. That's good. APT, what's the follow through here? How are we gonna get locked on? I'll tell you what. I mean, if it does not break this trend line, I'm still bearish on it, but you know, I'm a day trader. Like, I'm not trying to stay in here for hours on end. Man. We need to see a break. We got 30 seconds. We got 30 seconds. And if it breaks this trend line or opens below this trend line, yeah, that should be pretty darn significant. We got 8 seconds. Come on. All right. So maybe another trend line bounce, guys. Maybe another trend line bounce. Let's wait for it. Sell volume's picking up. Ah. Trend line bounce, trend line bounce. Trend line bounce. Oh, I'll tell you what. Not looking good. But I think we're ultimately going down. I do. It's one of those things where, I'd like to get out right now, and just be on with my day. It's almost like, man, I'm just going to take this. I want to pay attention to it because I want to be able to add to it when it does start getting the breakdown. It might blow past all these ads. And so, let me just see here. Codex is still below the trend line. It's below all major moving averages on the 5-minute. It's below VWAP. All right, 1531 will be my new stop. Stop by 1531. APT, what are you doing? Can you get the break? Can you finally get the break, APT? Still there, Notre Dame? I know it probably takes like 10 seconds for you to hear me ask that. Maybe 20 seconds, depending on lag time. There we go. This could be it, guys. Could be. This is why I'm not jumping in immediately. There we go. Okay, it's below the trend line. Can it continue to move? Okay. Skipped right over me. I can't believe it did that. Okay, let me try to get in here. There we go. Finally, it's finally filled me. $16.71. We want to see a definite break of 16, and then of course 15.81 would be. It's just bouncing. It's skipping right over my orders. Skipping right over my orders. Gonna wait patiently for the ad here. I want to see it tapping on 16's door. Could be double bottoming. Oh, great. You gotta be kidding me. See the resolution. See the resolution to the downside. Come on. All right. Codex, we're going to start watching it move. See if we can start piecing out at the break of 14. Okay, you know what? I'll go ahead and piece out at the a quarter of my position here. 22. There we go. Got a quarter piece out there. Can't believe APT just breaking right back up through all of that. I mean, it's phenomenal, guys. It's absolutely phenomenal. Did not see that coming. But we need to see a rejection. Definitely need to see a rejection there. Otherwise, I just need to get out. Need to see a trend line rejection and a break back down through 16. Okay, I'm going to take another quarter position off there. Just drive in a little more profit just in case. Starts breaking up through those levels, I'll get out half. This might take the whole thing. Sorry, I was looking at APT. I'll tell you what, the whippiness is real. The struggle is real. Okay, so we did get a bounce off that trend line. I mean, it was technically a close above that trend line, but nah, come on. If it comes over 50, if I see any buying on 15, I got to get out. I'm not gonna put up with the chop. Chop. Not seeing any kind of follow through, no kind of massive dumping of shares or anything like that. So just need to call it like it is. There's got to be a rejection here off this 9 EMA. And as a matter of fact, here's what I'm going to do. 14, 90, 98, yeah, 99. And we'll say 15. 1501, Codex, stop by 1501. ABT is just ridiculous. There's no reason why. There's no reason. But okay. APT comes over 1691. Take a $20 loss on that. Stop. Buy. All right. See what kind of move we can get right now. This may just be forming a temporary ascending triangle. CODX. What's the story? Like a bull flag. Now this could be a bull flag or a bull trap. Could be a bull trap. We'll know. We'll know if it hits those levels and gets rejected. Yeah. Look at that. Scoop right up through that trend line. I'm glad I waited on that. Okay. Let's see about the levels of support and resistance. Roku had a good recovery. AMD, JD. Everything's following the SPY. I mean, this is all looks pretty much like the S&P 500. So I'll tap out here, guys. Stop. Buy. 14.98. So I'm going to tap out. We're going to go ahead and end the day. We've made our money. It's 11 o'clock. Kind of back now. Noter says, great work today. Thanks, man. I hate that I'm down from where I was. Obviously, you don't want to be. I was up over $500, and lost some of it, and so just trying to recover a little. Still waiting for APT to make this move. As you can see, that was a total fake out over VWAP, but now it finally broke this trend line, came back, tested the 9 EMA. I'm really looking for a breakthrough the low of day here. We need to get that. We just do. For me to remain in this trade too much longer. I am very bearish on this stock right now. I really can see this stock pushing down to these levels here down at 1345, or maybe even where the 9 EMA comes up on the daily, which is 1376. But I really, honestly, I think it's going to break through this today. I think we're going to get a good solid flush down, but we might not. I mean, it might be just a little oversold right now, and it could be that sellers are going to take their time with it. But it could be that it flushes all the way back down to these levels. I mean, just a few days ago, this stock was only worth, $4 or $5. So you got to take that into consideration. And that's why I'm trying to be so patient with it today. But I have other stuff to do. As you can probably tell in my voice, man, I'm still not feeling that well. So I don't know. I think, I could still obviously at this point come out making over $500 on the day, but it's not worth it to me to back out of it. I really want to see what happens if it busts through these levels, but I am getting impatient, and at some point, well, there we go. Okay, there we go. So we're finally getting the breakdown. So all right, now I'll start parceling out. I'll take a quarter position off once it breaks 1550. Let's see. I'd really like to see, or I might just add two. I actually may just add. Let's just see. I want to see a good, solid, strong break, and we're not really getting that, so I might actually come off half my shares. If this cannot break 1550. There we go. There we go. Almost. Almost. Come on. Come on. 1550. All right, I'm going to take a quarter off there. See if we can get a rundown. Okay, so we're good now. We're good. We're good. Let's see if this can make an official move all the way down here. I might even look to add 75. 1654. But if it starts pulling back, you know what? I'm going to take off another quarter position at the break of 15. There we go. Okay. Another quarter position there. So we're back on the day. Self-care is a good thing. I can't wait till I can trade. Looking forward to this. Nice move. Good luck. Thanks, man. So, hey, out of curiosity, Noter, when do you think you're gonna get back into trading? I know you've kind of been on a break, and I think what you've been like testing a strategy, or when do you think you're gonna get back into to everything here? Come out another quarter there. Come out half. And I'm just going to come out all. Okay, 606.65. I hate that number. There's 3 sixes. 666. I hate that number. You're looking at April. Okay, cool. Are you going to do like a US broker? Or are you looking more at like an offshore, like Capital Markets Elite Group or something like that? And if I'm getting too personal, just don't even feel like you need to answer that. You've been using Think or Swim. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, good move on that. Think or Swim is good. TD Ameritrade. So I take it that might be what? That might be your... let me see if I can get another 50 shares here real quick. See if we can get... See if we can get a quick 50 shares. Now if it comes above 1510, it'll probably come up even further than that. Pause in there, so I'm gonna take that off. Let's see, CMEG to start. You're good. Okay, cool. Yeah, CMEG is great. They really are. Have you been with them before, or is this the first time you're starting the process? I'm just asking because I remember the beginning of the process of that, and it was a little rigorous at first. It took a little bit more time than what I thought it would. So I was going to try to give you some pointers on that if it's your first time. And obviously, if it's not your first time, it'll be easy. You'll be able to get in and out of that pretty quickly, or you'll be able to, you know. See if we can get down here, pat a little more on. There we go. 616. There's still 3 sixes. I used the old broker Sure Trader before they closed. Oh yeah, I remember Sure Trader. Man, those commissions were crazy, dude. Wasn't it like? I mean, I never used it. I just saw when I was learning how to day trade at the time. There were tons of people that I followed that used it, and I just remember the commissions being being ridiculous. I just remember them being super ridiculous on the commissions. 20 a trade. Yeah. I was thinking it was something like that. Like it was like somewhere like $16, $18, $20 a trade. So 14.59. If we get a break of 59, let's see. I'll bet we can get a shot down to 36. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Okay, looks like it's going to make a strong move up. Which is fine. Where did I get in? You better be good to use them. Yeah, for sure. And several of the guys that I were following, they would always talk about that. You really need to know your junk before you get in there. What happened to them? Was it? Did they? Was it? Were they doing like insider trading or something? Or was there? I might be wrong about this. I'm thinking there was some kind of legal issue with them, but I really don't remember, to be honest with you. So hopefully they didn't do anything, to screw their clients over. Really would like to see this resolve. Come on. We can get a good flush down past 1460. No? Not sure. I think it had something to do with pump and dumps. Yeah, some kind of market manipulation or um, yeah. So I mean, like, was everybody able to recover their funds and all that? Like, it wasn't a bad deal for the people who actually used the broker, was it? I mean, obviously, besides getting caught in pump and dumps, but I wouldn't even fully blame Shore Trader for that sort of thing because I mean honestly at the end of the day like we as traders should be able to identify pump and dumps and we should know better not to get in on pump and dumps. Um, but yeah, were you guys able to recover your funds and all that? 257. Yes, or transfer to their new service F1 Trade. Oh, okay. Okay, so they got a new service. Do people trust them? Are they using them? Or have you used them? Or what did you think about it? And were the commissions better on that? Okay, I'm gonna get out 620.65. That's where we're ending the day. Um, I know this is probably gonna make a move without me. That's fine. 5 minute chart on CODX. It's CFD service. I think the commissions are lower, but I don't like the idea of trading CFDs. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Americans for Hire. What's up? Hope you're doing all right this morning. Good morning. You're actually coming in right as we're about to end this thing out. Yeah, what's your question? And by the way, Noter, hey Noter, CMEG is really good, and it can take it can be a process. Like you'll email these guys, you'll try to get in, and they're gonna take their sweet time. I mean, you'll get a responded, like a generic email, them just letting you know, hey, we got your submission, whatever, we're on it. But I actually had to call up there like two or three times just to make sure that they were staying on top of it. Not saying that they weren't staying on top of it, but you know, it. I just had to call and remind them. I was like, "Hey, it's been like almost 2 weeks. I haven't heard. I'm waiting." Like the first time I called, I'm like, "It's been a week," and then they were like, "Yeah, we've got a high volume, whatever. So we're gonna, but we're on top of it, whatever, yada yada, blah blah blah." And then, but then like another 3 or 4 days had passed. I called them again. They were like, "Yep, we're on top of it." And then like at the 2 week mark, I called them again, just because it's like, I mean, it's like, are you serious? Like, I'm ready to go, you know. But they did come through. They were working on it. But so they just take a little bit longer. But here's one thing I really liked about them. Now, I haven't used them in almost a year, but what I really liked about them is they had really good customer support. They were very nice. They were happy to answer your questions. You can call them. A lot of the times I would even get the same person. And so, but I mean, you can ask them anything. I mean, even questions that, you might think are dumb questions, and you're going to feel dumb for asking them. You know what I'm saying? But they're cool. They're nice. They're patient. At least, again, that was my experience with them. So they are very, very legit, in my opinion. You can get a pretty decent commission structure with them, which I'm sure you already know. But yeah, good luck with that, man. I may even, like, at some point, I mean, I still have an account with them technically, but I've actually been thinking about maybe just funding a small account and doing something here for the channel, maybe even, and just to have an extra broker running, especially if, say one day something goes wrong with Lightspeed and they're just like, if they're down for a day or something like that, well, then I can hop on there with CMEG. So anyway, yeah, good luck with that. So, okay. So we had a question by, is Clearview's data breach going to affect the stock market relating to major corporations? Okay, so here's the thing. I actually have no clue about what you're talking about with Clearview's data breach. I don't know anything about that. So I really cannot speak to that. I don't know. Maybe Notre Dame might have something to say about that. But yeah, I actually I have no idea. So is Clearview's data breach going to affect the stock market relating to major corporations? Yeah, I have no idea. I don't even know what that is. But I'll tell you what. Since you brought it up, I'm going to do a quick Google search while I got you on the line here. Let's see, Clearview data breach. It's a pretty new subject. Clearview AI, a facial recognition software maker that has sparked privacy concerns since Wednesday, it suffered a data breach. The data stolen included its entire list of customers, the number of searches those customers have made, and how many accounts each customer had set up. So it was hacked. AI worked with Macy's, Best Buy, ICE, and others. Okay, so obviously that's a pretty intense. Let me see here. Sorry, I'm looking at more headlines here. AI has billions of our photos. I mean, here's the thing. Like, okay, so off the top of my brain, I'll offer this. This is just my opinion. And again, this is obviously, you've just come in here. You've just asked me this question. I have absolutely no idea, or I haven't read up on any of this. Obviously, this is a subject that I think that if you were trading a lot of these companies like Best Buy and Macy's and stuff like that, then that might be information that you would want to stay connected with. And real quick, Noter says, look at what happened when Facebook got fined. They rallied, and this market may be a dip, but probably sideways. I don't see much impact from this, to be honest, but I don't have a magic crystal ball. And that, dude, I'm so glad you came in with that. So Noter's been in the chat here pretty consistently over the last week and a half. I think he adds a lot of value to this channel, and I'm always appreciating his input. I think he's a smart guy. He obviously knows his stuff. He studies a lot, and he's obviously been involved with day trading for a good enough while, because that was actually basically the opinion I was about to share. So pretty much what I was saying is, so if you trade those kinds of stocks, Best Buy's, Macy's, ICE, or whatever it was, like, then yeah, it might behoove you to stay studied up on that, to just stay, look at the headlines and just kind of watch market price action, see if any of those stocks are being affected by it. But then I was going to go on to say pretty much what Noter just said, although Noter did add a point that I wasn't really going to add, the whole part about how, like, when Facebook got fined, they rallied. I couldn't even remember. I was going to bring up Facebook, but I couldn't even remember whether they rallied or not. But you're right. I think they did rally. So thanks for pointing that out, Noter. But what I was going to say is, yeah, look at Facebook. That's the perfect example. Facebook got fined, and they were looking at all those privacy issues. And, the thing is here, I have noticed that with all of this new technology and all these social media sites and people having their information out there online, I have noticed that in this day and age, it seems as though people in general, like the general overall sentiment is people don't seem to care that much. And it's kind of scary that they don't care that much. I mean, and even myself, I can even speak for myself. Like, it's like kind of like, oh, well, like the damage has already been done. Like, we've all had a Facebook account. We've all had an Instagram. Well, not all of us. There are actually some smart people out there that have stayed away from that junk. But we've all got a Gmail. Like, our information is out there whether we like it or not. And so I think that's why a lot of people, by and large, when they hear stuff like this, it tends to not matter as much as you'd think that it would, because everybody, again, we're already kind of exposed. Our personal information is out there. The government has it. Now we don't want hackers to have it. We don't want people who have evil intentions to have it. But even oftentimes when hackers are stealing your information, they're just stealing it so that they can sell it to, telemarketers, or sell it to, it's like for the purposes of sales or tracking, or like, it's innocent stuff. It's not like so people can like steal your identity and track you and your family down and kill everybody. Like, it's really not like that. So now I'm not saying it can't be like that, but anyway, so American Friar says, I'm a noob in this industry and I'm just trying to get another opinion on that matter before reacting. And yeah, and I'll say this, Americans for Hire, I'll say this, dude, like, you're doing the right thing. Like, to be able to go to other people who might have more information than you, to try to learn from people who have been doing this longer than you. I think that's noble. I think that's what you have to do. So there's absolutely no harm in asking. I think it's a good question. I think it's a legit question. And again, I think the best answer that I could give is just maybe, yeah, I think that's good. Before reacting, just kind of follow the trends and see how the market is responding. I think we'll know more in the days to come. But here yet with day traders, like, we move to cash at the end of the day. Like, if I did trade Macy's today, I would pretty much just be capitalizing on the intraday volatility of Macy's. I would probably get in for like a 10, 20, 30 cent move and get out, take my money and move on. I move to cash. So like, if there's more news on this, devastating news on this that hits overnight, and then, you wake up in the morning and Macy's has like majorly gapped down, it wouldn't affect me because I moved to cash at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? It will affect investors, but it does not affect day traders. So, I mean, that's kind of another part of it. Noter says, keep your predefined style. Well, he says, it seems society at large just expects it. Absolutely. So I guess he's just pretty much doubling down on what I was talking about there. And then he says, keep your predefined stop loss and wait and see if there's a change in direction. Yeah. So, but anyway, again, good questions. American for Hire, good to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Right now, I've pretty much finished up for the day. I'm up ending the day about $620.65, probably after commissions and fees. And by the way, I think I spent like $20-30 in borrowing shares for shorting on Codex and APT today. So it's very possible that after fees and commissions, I'm probably only ending the day really up 580, maybe, yeah, probably 580. Ish, 575, 570 maybe, worst case scenario, but it's a good day overall, so I feel pretty good about it. And just going to come back here tomorrow and see what we have on the agenda. Listen, I want to give a quick apology too, by the way, for those of you who were in here this morning during pre-market. I've been really bad about jumping in on some trades early in pre-market. And even though it's been beneficial for me, it doesn't allow me too much time to take you guys through the watch list and explain what my plan of action is for the day. And I think that would be really helpful for you guys so that you know what I'm thinking. It's really hard to do that when you're in on pre-market because you have to watch these stocks because you stop losses don't, when you set stops in pre-market, they don't get triggered. So it's like I constantly have to go back and watch them and watch them and watch them. The thing is being involved with trading for so long, I have been able to identify pretty decent movement in pre-market, and I can typically make some pretty good money in pre-market. And so, it's like one of those things. I don't want to miss out on that, but at the same time, those of you who are joining in, I want to be able to add value or bring enough value to this channel to keep you coming through and keep you learning. So I'll try to be better about that. Maybe a couple mornings this week, I'll hold off on the pre-market trades, or maybe I'll get in and out of a trade, quick enough to actually go over my plan of action. So, also Cash App and App Stock Service. Is there another service with much better quality of info? Americans for Hire. Noter, you might have something about that. I don't know about Cash App's in-app stock service. So another service that with much better quality of info. Let me look that up real quick. What is Cash App? What is that, like a news feed subscription like Benzinga or something like that? Let's see. Now you can invest. Cash App is a mobile payment service developed by Square, allowing users to transfer money to one another using a mobile phone app. Okay. As of February 2018, the service recorded 7 million active users. Sager says it's like Venmo. Okay, it's like Venmo. And Americans Fire says it's like Venmo. Okay. So your question is there another service with much better quality of info? Well, can you define what you're asking there? And I'll go ahead and tell you this, like being that I don't really know too much about it, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to answer that question. So I take it you're investing. Are you using it to invest? Is it kind of like it's a mobile payment service? How does it relate to trading, I guess is my question. Because that is kind of that's my strong suit there, obviously. Day trading is, this looks like it could crack. Come further. I might have to take another trade, guys. Might have to jump in on one more here. Let's see how Codex is moving. Although we're hitting that lunch hour, but Codex is consistently tracking with that 9 EMA. On the 5-minute, which is pretty healthy. Pretty good move. Oh, mRNA. Okay, mRNA actually did make a move higher, past 30. Okay, see if it hit any levels here. No, this isn't a good place. The next level of good opportunity would be up here close to $32, maybe 32, between 32 and 32.50. Question may be irrelevant, but provide more context. Yeah. It has a stock side where you can invest in major stocks, but not all for some reason. Okay. Well, Americans for Hire, I honestly don't know much about it. Here's what I would say. What I can do is provide you with this kind of information. Here's what I know about trading with apps. Really, right now, the biggest app out there for trading is Robinhood. And I've heard mixed reviews on it. But the fact of the matter is when it comes to day trading is such a fast, kind of in and out type of form of trading. We're in and out of stocks constantly. And, from what I've heard, Robinhood it's just slow. It's slow. I don't know if it's like whether the data that comes through on the charting, I don't know if it's delayed. If it's got a delay, then that's going to affect you. If you set out an order to get in a trade and you want to get in real quick and then you want to get back out real quick, I've just heard it's not good for day trading. I've heard that it's good for investing and even swing trading, but to get into active day trading where you're jumping in and out of stocks within minutes, sometimes even within seconds, I can't. I don't know that I could speak to having a phone app for those purposes. So now you might want to ask other people, but that's my personal opinion. I would get on something like, I mean, and if you didn't have a lot of money, you could fully fund an offshore broker account with like Capital Markets Elite Group. You can start an account with them for, I think, as little as, this looks actually good for, if this breaks this EMA, we could see a move down to 26. Maybe worth it. Maybe worth it here. Hold on. I don't know. Maybe not. 5 minute, 1 minute. Well, no, it's broke below that 20. Let's see. See if we can make it back up. Hold on a second. See if we can make it back up a little. Okay. Okay. It just recovered the 20 on the 1 minute, so I don't know. I don't think this is what I'm going to want to get in right now. Capital Markets Elite Group, you can fund an account with them for as little as $500, and they give you 4 times buying power. So you would technically have 2,000 in buying power. Now I don't recommend you using your full load of buying power. I mean, that's just, again, my personal opinion. I think it's dangerous to do that, but you could at least get in. I mean, even if you use half your buying power, you get in with $1,000, and say you find an $8 stock, and you want to take 100 shares on it. Maybe it's going to make $1 move, and so you could potentially make $100 and just get started there. Or even just make $50. Just make $50 and come into the market each day. I mean, you could take a $4 stock and buy a couple hundred shares, and so anyway, there's opportunity there. Let's see. Americans Fire says, I believe the trade app I use is delayed severely on purpose, so you cannot pull out in downward trend. Thanks again, and Notergen's Adventures. Okay, yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming through. So, okay, this is having a little bit of a rejection here, so we may get, it's not really pushing. It's not really pushing heavily. So I think I'll jump in here for a quick move down. This is a perfect example too, by the way. See if it can push through 60. Go ahead and take off. This is a quick scalping trade for me, guys. This is no big deal. So I'm going to take off half my shares there. We're up 639. You see how quickly I'm moving? If you're still here, Americans for Hire, you see how quickly I'm moving in and out of this? So I'm going to hold on to that last 100 shares, see if we can get a breakdown, maybe even down to VWAP. That'd be interesting. And I might even add back. That was a good move. Anytime it pushes up, through the 20 EMA on the 1 minute, the 20 EMA is very significant on the 1 minute. And usually when it pushes up and closes, you're looking for another good leg up. But it rejected that, and it shot back through. And so I felt good about taking it. Now, if it moves against me, I'll try to get out break even, basically. So, but I may consider adding again. Yeah, so it's staying above the 20 on the 2 minute too. Now, if we could see a close below that, that would be significant. And we're about to get that. We just got that. So if we break back through 52, it might be worth adding. But let's see where we are on the 5 minute. 5 minute, we're still sitting on the 9 EMA. So looks like it's moving back. So, okay, there we go. It's pushing, making a move down. We're about to close out the 5 minute. This will be the first time since back here that we close below the 5 minute. I'd really like to see that. And then I would like to add probably there. So we got 20 seconds left. I've got the time right here. 20 seconds left. See if we can close below that and see if we can start to make a stronger move down. I will add at the break of 50 again. Add another 100 shares back in. Okay, and that technically did not close, so I may get out if this comes back to 29.70. So 29.70 stop. We'll say 29.69 stop buy. Make sure it gets triggered so we don't really lose anything on there. Okay, there we go. I should be out. There we go. Okay. So 635.66. So made a little bit of a profit there, not much. So if it breaks 50, if it still breaks 50, I'm going to be looking to get back in on this. Because right now it's showing that it's going to sit on that 9 EMA. If it doesn't do that, that's going to be a very bearish signal. I think people will start getting out at that point. It'll be worth a shot anyway. I know I said I was done, guys. I shouldn't even be trading anymore. Let's see. Sorry, been AFK. What's AFK, Notergen? What is AFK? Help a brother out. Almost looks like an ABC pattern. Yeah. Yeah. So mobile is not near the best option for day traders. No, not Robinhood. No, I would never, ever day trade on a mobile phone. I would not. Okay. The lag on mobile apps. Yeah. No, heck no. Yeah. There you go. That's why you said no, LOL. Yeah, for sure. And they profit off price offset. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost kind of like in a way, I guess, what, could you consider it arbitrage or whatever? Oh, away from keyboard. Got you. I know, man. I feel like an idiot. Like, I don't even know half of these. Look at this. This is it. It does look like an ABC pattern, but it looks like, I'm telling you, if it breaks this, because if it comes down past 52 here, there's also 52 here, and then 52 is the low of the candle. I think it could retest the low of the previous 15-minute candle if it comes down there. So I'm gonna look for that. Look for a retest of all that. And let me see what's happening on the 1 minute. See, there it is again. Can't stay above that 20. I mean, that's significant. That is significant. It really is. Let's see. I want to see if it closes below that 20 on the 1 minute. That would be significant. And if we see selling into the 60s, I think I would take it. Or down below 60, excuse me. And I would do it in anticipation of the break of 52. Okay. Let's see. Cigar? Is it Sagar? Cigar? Let's see. Let's see, away from teenager. I have it, or away from keyboard. I have a teenager. You're forced every day. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Sagar says, can you talk about the message I sent? Start from I use light speed. Thanks. And which color is your 20 EMA? Are you using limit orders? Okay, note again. You talking to me about limit orders and Sauger. Sauger. Okay, Sauger. Okay, or are you pushing market orders and seeing slippage? Not sure from what you said earlier. Okay. Are you talking to me, Noter? And then Sauger, can you said can you talk about the message I sent? You sent me a message. Start from I use light speed. Can you clarify? I'm sorry, Sauger. Can you clarify that? Okay, Notergan, trying to figure out what he's talking about. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, me too. So we're on the same page there. Okay, this looks like it's dropping, guys. This looks like it's dropping. I feel I feel pretty good about going short here. I think I'm going to go ahead and go short. Another 200 shares. And I'll get out if I have to, but I want to see a breakthrough 52. Let's look at the 2-minute. Let's look at the 5-minute. It's been pushed down several times. So if it looks like it's going to go back, I'll get out. But we got 200 at 65. I want to see a flush through 60. Okay, come on. Okay, I'm going to take 100 off there just in case. We could still make a good move. If it breaks all of this, we could still make a good move. We can make a, 70, 80 bucks even on that last 100 shares. But if it keeps going against me, obviously, I'm going to get out. So we're forming a little bit of this pattern here. Okay, so let's see if it comes above this. If it comes above that, we'll get out. So 80. 80 is the magic number for this one. So hold on, guys. I know I'm kind of breaking here real quick. So yeah, we'll say stop limit, 80's the limit, because I think I can get it there. I think it would probably rush up through it and then start tanking. Buy stop, 100 shares back there. This pattern's winding up. It's either going to start shooting straight up or it's going to tank, and we're going to do a test of VWAP. So, okay. All right, Sauger, let's see. The message is up there. Need to scroll up more. My message is at 8:29 a.m. Okay, sounds like you're trying to execute from current price. Then, okay, let me know. Okay, let me go up here. Sauger, I use light speed. Okay, got you. Sorry, Sauger. Okay, I'm there. Hold on. You said I use light speed. My offset is 5 cents on the ask when I buy. Okay, hold on 1 second. By the way, I'm going to get to that, Sauger. Give me 1 second. I want to see if this is about. We're about to get the fail on this. I want to add back into it. At the break of 60, I'll consider adding. It's going to flush pretty hard at that point. It's just not having heavy sell off. So there we go. See if I can get in there. Passed me up. Okay, I completely skipped over me. So there we go. We're getting the flush down. So the trade idea was legit, but I just want to get, there we go. Busting through. Let's see if we can get the break of 29. I might go ahead and take half my shares off. Let's see. Yeah. No, I'm going to try to go for this. I mean, it's dumping pretty hard. All right, I'll take it. I'll take half. You can see I have very little patience on that last one. Let's see if we can get a push over 700. So we'll see. There we go. See that? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? That's exactly what I'm looking for there. I'll take off another half there. We got 25 shares left. Let's see if we can pop our neck over 700 today, guys. Sorry, Sauger. I'm gonna pick back up where we left off. Give me 1 second. I'm just kind of. It's hard to do two things at once for me, as you can imagine. So now that we've had this move, by the way, I really would like to add into it. So I am going to consider adding. I'm going to wait for it to pop up. Let's see how it's holding. Totally missed out on that. If it breaks VWAP, I'm just gonna ride it. Is it breaking VWAP? No. Major sell-off right now on mRNA. Could not hold. But I think we're going to get a test of VWAP, but now I know that it's weak. Now I'm sensing the artificial buy up. So let's see if we can get a quick short squeeze. This is just like mRNA to start short squeezing up. I'll actually put in an order to short another 100 at 29.23. Unless it breaks. Looks like it's about to. Okay, so Sauger, I don't know what. Let me look down here at the bottom. Okay, and when you have time, you can you show which color is your 20 EMA? Yep, the 20 EMA is the purple one. Be fearful when they are greedy, and be greedy when they are fearful. My question is it time to be greedy yet? A bottom for most is near. If you're talking about are you talking about just the overall markets, like the S&P 500? Is that what you're talking about? Like as far as from an investing standpoint, Americans for Hire? And let me see, Sauger, I'm coming back up to your question too. I have not forgotten about you. So I'm going to look for a quick pop up to 29.23, and I might even add in all the way up to 29.48. Guys, give me a minute. I'll be Okay, guys, I'm back. Came up to 925, so it got me there. So I'm going to look for a break of VWAP, and if it does not break VWAP, I'll go ahead and get out. I want to see it. I want to see it curling around from this point on the 1 minute. I do not want to see it continue to race up, especially after having the buyers or the bears pushing it down pretty hard on that 2 minute. So yeah, Sauger, once again, this line right here, this is the 20 EMA. And while it does provide significance on, like the 5 minute chart and all that, in any charting time frame, I have found that it is most significant on the 1 minute charts. 1 minute, even 2 minute charts, I find that it's most significant. I want to see a continued flush down here. I may even go ahead and add in again. But if it comes up over 20, let's see. And Sauger, I am going to get to your question, I promise. I really am having a hard time. I'm not a multitasker. Ask my wife. I am not a good multitasker. Like if I'm in the middle of something and my wife is asking me to do something, it's always like, honey, wait. Just give me a minute. I promise I'll help. Just give me a minute. Let me finish this. And she knows. She already knows, So, okay. See if this is an artificial break. May not be. May just have to get out break even on this. Although, I really feel like, man, this just tells me so much about this stock. This tells me a lot, and this tells me a lot. There's been a lot of artificial buying. We're sitting on support. And, but I don't know. I can easily see this getting slammed back down. If you come here and look at it like this, it came down to where? 28, roughly almost VWAP. Yeah, I think the greater area of support is going to be at the 27 or the $28 level, maybe even 27.70, 27.80, somewhere at that level. So while we could form a slight push up real quick, I think we're gonna. I really do think. I don't know. But then again, we could be getting another one of these. We could be getting another one of these where it just slammed down to VWAP, started getting bought back up. So we've got heavy order up here, heavy orders up here on the ask. So I'm gonna give it a second to work itself out. I'm gonna give it a second to work itself out. I'm committed, but obviously, if we get bought up and it breaks trend line and all that, then forget about it. I'll go ahead and get out. Take a little bit of a loss. We're already up way further than where we were on the day, so I'm fine to see how this plays out. I can afford to lose whatever on this. It's not going to bother me. So, all right. So we'll say this. While this is playing out, Sauger finally says, I use Lightspeed. My offset is 5 cents on the ask when I buy. I usually see my orders go in always 5 cents above the ask. I thought offset meant up to 5 cents. Is that correct? Okay. My offset, bear with me here. My offset is 5 cents. So I'm guessing what you're saying is on the ask when you buy. So obviously, if I put in a buy order here, if I was using, I'm guessing you're talking about with your hotkeys. You have your hotkeys set up to where, like, say I bought right now, it would shoot through the ask. It would shoot through 29, like 5 cents through 29.38. Is that kind of what you're saying there? Okay, I want to add here. Might even want to add. Let's see. Is that what you're saying? His main, okay, note again says his main concern is that his limit order plus 5 cents is always executing 5 cents above the current price. If he is using the correct code, it may be a share size issue with not enough orders on level 2. But I don't know. I only use DAS. Okay. Very possible, Sauger says. Okay, so that hopefully that answers your question. I'm trying to get a, you're saying yes, yes, yes. Okay, so when you're doing that, let me come back up to your question here. So when you're doing that, you see your orders go in 5 cents above the ask. You usually see your orders go in always 5 cents above the ask. Thought offset meant up to 5 cents. Is that correct? Yeah, it should be. It should be up to 5 cents. It should be. I would love to give you a demonstration right now, but I'm kind of shorting this, so I can't really buy. But I have mine set the same way. Now here's something that I do a little differently. Let me see. Custom order. So when I am buying anything under 1,000 shares. So you see that I only have my offset of 0.3 cents. Because here's the thing. I'm only buying 100 shares. Like, what's the odds that I'm not going to be able to get that 3 cents through the ask? Okay? And it's not really until I get up to maybe 500 shares is where I start. No, 600 shares. When I get to, well, I don't even have more than 500 on there, because I usually deal with a very small size. I mean, hence the name conservative trades. I deal with very conservative share size. But surely if I'm buying 1,000, I do have the option to buy 1,000 just in case. If it's a smaller, if it's like a small, less pricey stock, sometimes taking 1,000 shares is conservative for those smaller stocks. Those smaller stocks that, like those dollar stocks that only move 5-10 cents at a time. But I'll have that 5 cents through the ask. Let me see. Same here. I only do 250 shares for now as well. That's smart. I mean, there's really no reason to do too much more than that. So, I mean, especially if you're a beginner trader, we have to work out our muscles here. We have to work out our trading muscles here. It's just like going to the gym and working out. I mean, yeah, you may see people benching 200 pounds, but maybe you can only start with 100. So start with 100. Don't stretch yourself too fast, or you're going to get hurt. You might even hurt yourself so much to where you can't even work out anymore. You could get really hurt. Okay, hurt badly. So, it's kind of the same thing. Like when you get in the stock market, look, yeah, Ross Cameron and Andrew Aziz and some of these other super professional traders out there, I mean, they're bench pressing, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 shares. Okay, you and I don't have the muscles to do that yet. Okay, and it's going to take a while till we do. So, let's start with 100 shares, 200 shares, maybe 400, 500 shares. But, you've got to really work out those muscles for your risk tolerance. You got to be able to stomach your P&L being down X amount of dollars at a time. If you get into a trade just like this, I'm in this trade and it's starting to go against me up here. I can stomach that. I was even trying to add up here, because I could have stomached it if it went to this trend line, which is ultimately where I would have gotten out, and I would have had to take maybe a $40, $50 loss, whatever, but I can stomach that, but people who are coming to the stock market trying to be like their favorite day trading professional, they're coming in here trying to take thousands of shares like them, and when it goes against them and they see their P&L, they're down like $400 or $500. They're like, oh, like they can't handle that. So it's like, why are you trying to handle that? Why are you going into the gym when you haven't been in the gym ever in your life and you're trying to bench 200 pounds? Like, you're going to kill yourself. Like, don't do that. So it's very much the same type of thing here. And so anyway, Americans for Hire says, I apologize. I know that I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to ask as many questions as I can because I believe it'll help me and my wife. I appreciate all of your input and have subscribed. Thanks. Well, thank you, Americans for Hire. Yeah, like I said, man, there's no harm in that, man. I think it's awesome that you're wanting to come in here and learn more about the stock market and how it moves. And You can develop a really good skill that can be very helpful for your future, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to go ahead and real quick, guys, I'm going to come out. I'm going to wait for this to get back down in the 2830s, or I may just put a scale out on the bid. Okay, it held VWAP. Did it hold it on the 5-minute? Yes, it held it on the 5-minute. So that's a little bullish, but it could just be the choppiness of mRNA. I've told you guys before, trading mRNA is not the easiest stock to trade. So let's see if it can break back below 50 again. I'll take half off on the ask. Normally I like to add liquidity. Let's see. See if we can get another strong push down here. See where we're at on the 2-minute, the 1-minute. Is it possible to get a retest? Or is this going to be seen as a double bottom because it closed here? Okay, let's see. Come on. See, this is mRNA, guys. mRNA is just such a little beast. Like, it makes really good moves, but it just plays around like this. So I'm going to go ahead. I think I can, well, I was going to take it in the 60s, but here, this is what I'm going to do. 50 shares off at 65. Buy 50 shares. See if we can get a quick flush down there. That would be 66 actually. I'll take it at 67. See if we can get a quick flush. And depending on how it moves, I might change that. Yeah, I think it could get a retest of 65. Get a little 2 extra cents on that. I think it can definitely retest the VWAP. Okay. One thing I have learned is not to average down. Anytime I did that with my strategy, I've always lost. Well, yeah, I would say, listen, averaging in is actually, believe it or not, it is actually a really good thing to do if you have a very calculative and solidified understanding on where to do it. As a matter of fact, this is how people that move big money and massive share size and make really big gains in the market, they all use averaging in strategies. Okay, they start with whether it's a tier 1, tier 2, whatever, they start with averaging in their position size at tier levels. And they even expect for the market to go against them to a certain degree, but they've pre-calculated everything out. And so when it moves against them, like they could be severely underwater on their P&L, but they go ahead and throw in their next tier size of their share lots. Okay, now mind you, these are people that, again, they know what they're doing and they can afford the losses if it still continues to move against them. But the thing is they are doing this at very specifically calculated, predefined moments. And if you get really good at reading price action and, even tracking with certain levels of support and resistance and all that, if you get really good at that and you're confident in that strategy, averaging in is not a bad thing. It's actually a very beneficial thing. But it's one of those things. It's an art. Averaging in is an art, and you have to learn it. You have to learn it well, and don't play around with averaging in. And so I would even say, just to add to what you're saying, Sauger, I mean, I think you said it best. You said you've learned not to do it because anytime you do it with your strategy, you've lost. So obviously, it's not something that you want to be doing. Obviously, it's not beneficial for your strategy. So that's really smart, actually. It's smart to be able to identify it, to be able to stop and say to yourself, you know what? This isn't good for me. This isn't what works for me. Okay? And so if it doesn't work for you, then don't do it. Do not do it. Because like I said, that is one of those art forms that, you have to learn it. Now, I have learned it, but I have not learned it perfectly. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not like this super awesome expert, ninja at averaging in. Like, I'm not the average in samurai here, but I've learned it well enough to where I'm confident to be able to use it on smaller share sizes. Okay, and so just like here, I saw a VWAP bounce. I was willing to start average in. I think I averaged in another 100 shares at 29.23, and I wanted to average in back up here. I don't know if you remember up here, I was thinking, about putting out an order at 29, I think 29.48 or whatever. But then I was going to just simply get out if it finally broke this trend line. But I wasn't looking for it to break, not with a sell-off like this. We had a sell-off like this, and then it teetered around and tightened up, and then had this major sell-off all the way down to VWAP. I was not expecting for it to just all of a sudden recover through all this. I think there's a lot of fear on this stock right now. And so I was willing to add in as it continued to make its way up to these levels. Okay, and then I would have gotten out. Now I would have taken like a $50 loss, but I was fine with that because I was already up like what, 675 on the day. So if I ended the day still up 625, I was fine with that. So you have to be fine with it. Like that's the biggest thing in trading, whether you're averaging in or not. You have to be fine with it. You've got to be okay with any kind of loss that you might incur. But for me, I was, again, going back to the averaging in strategy. I've seen this so many times. I've seen stuff like this so many times. I just felt really confident that we weren't going to make it back over this trend line. So I was willing to average in to watch it make a greater move down. Now, obviously, I didn't get that last 100 shares. So now here again, I'm just kind of, and it's bouncing about around VWAP. And eventually it could come up and break this trend line and I'll get out. But yeah, averaging in is a strategy. It's an art. And it's got to be mastered. And I think if you wanted to try doing it, I would just say, like, just do it with super small share sizes. What do you think about the 9 EMA crossover on VWAP strategy? Well, I've got mixed feelings on it. The biggest part of my strategy is following critical areas of support and resistance. That's the first thing that I look at. I look at where are areas of support and resistance. Second thing I look at is VWAP. Where is the VWAP in relation to these areas? Look, I'm a big believer in the 9 and the 20 EMAs. I think they're very solid indicators for day trading, especially if you're using like scalping techniques and that sort of thing. But mostly more so on the 1 and 5 minute charts. Okay? But here's the thing. They are not, in my mind, they are not as concrete as levels of support and resistance and even VWAP. VWAP has become a very majorly respected indicator. It's widely used among the vast majority of the day trading community, which is why it works so well. It's one of those, things where it kind of becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, what you're talking about is confluence. And confluence is where two or more indicators meet together. And so here's the thing. When there is a crossover, I definitely take it seriously, but I'm still looking at volume. And if I didn't mention, volume is another huge key indicator for me. Like the two biggest indicators, besides watching levels of support and resistance, to me, the two biggest indicators that I watch the most are volume and VWAP. And I really try to pay attention to that stuff on the longer time frames, like the 15-minute, the 30-minute. I think the longer time frames can tell you a better story, because things can whip around on this 1 to 5 minute stuff all day long. I mean, this can just whip around, but the longer time frames will tell better stories. So what I'm trying to say, basically, just to kind of get to the point here, the two biggest indicators I'm watching is volume and VWAP. I'm very conscious of where the support and resistance is. So as long as the volume is there, and as long as we're still seeing movements from major areas of support and resistance, then I think that crossover is a lot more significant. Because here's the thing, you can see 9 EMA and VWAP crossovers all the time and it doesn't get respected. Why? Normally, it's because there was no confirmation with any previous areas of support and resistance. So Support and resistance is the biggest thing in trading. That's listen, it's what everybody's looking at. It's what the investors are looking at. It's what the swing traders are looking. It's not just the day traders, okay? And you've got a lot of people in the markets who are very patient. They're constantly looking for places to jump in on stocks and invest. They're constantly looking at places to take swings, okay? So, or take position for swings that are going to go for several days. So day traders are not the only ones in on this, and that's why areas of support and resistance are so critical to look at, because everybody in the world is looking at that, so to speak. And I hope that makes sense. But yes, I do think that the confluence of the 9 EMA crossover on VWAP, I do think it's something to take seriously. Like I said, again, but all while having a good understanding of where any key areas of support and resistance may be, and watching volume, making sure that the volume's there for the follow through. And then, and this is another thing I pay heavy attention to. You're welcome. You're welcome, Sagar. You're welcome. And I hope I'm still saying that right, Sagar. But that's this is another thing. This is huge. I mean, you can see here, we started to form a downward trend line here, and it kept tapping it, and it finally rejected it and broke through all these moving averages. So, all right, Sagar, cool. So, guys, I really have spent too much time in here. And I've got another job I've got to get to. So for those of you who don't know, I work from home. I'm contracted out to a web development company based out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And I handle a lot of their, I basically do strategic web marketing and web marketing consultations for their clients. I help them build and manage Google ad campaigns and stuff like that. So that's another thing about day trading, though. The main reason I bring that up is it's always good to have something else that you're doing. You don't want to just rely only on this as your sole income, because it may not work out for you. And it also really, in my opinion, affects your mentality of day trading. It really does affect, because you're thinking to yourself, man, like, I have to make this work. I have to be like, this is my only source of income. Like, this has got to work. And so it makes it more stressful. And I think it affects your trading. It affects where you get in and get out. So it's good to, it's good to have another job. It's good to have something else you're doing. There was a time in my life where I didn't have another job and I was just kind of day trading full time. And it really did. It totally affected me. Although I've always had my hands in little side hustles here and there. I've always, even when I didn't have another official job per se, there were still other forms of income that I could press into if I wanted to. I used to run a recording studio out of my home, and I still have all the studio stuff here. And it's not that I even really ran it wasn't even as much as having people come here and record, but I had my own digital audio engineering lab. And so people would actually record at other studios around, really even around the country. I mean, I would get work that came in from here to California, and they would record music and they would send it to me to do all the engineering on the mixing, the editing, the mastering, and stuff like that. And so even when I shut my studio down to the public, I still would take jobs every now and then, like a mastering job here and there. And so, I mean, technically I would still have a little money rolling in here and there, but for the most part, I was really spending a lot of time on day trading, and I was really looking for day trading to be my main source of income. And it totally, without beyond a shadow of a doubt, affected my trading. And so, anyway, we've had a few more Americans for Hire, VWAP. Let's see. VWAP is a good strategy if you can sort of figure out the computing algorithm schedule pattern. Yeah, I mean, this time of day, I take it. I take it, if I'm hearing you correctly. I take it that you're talking about like the algorithmic trading bots. This is actually the time of day where they come out to play. I mean, most day traders are, even institutional traders are on lunch break right now. So even me sitting here looking for this to have some major breakdown through VWAP, some major sell off, I don't think it's going to happen. It really does become sometimes during between really, I guess, 11:30 and maybe 1:30, 2 o'clock. It really does become a game with the algorithms, and they're very whippy, and they'll move you back and forth and chop you out of the stocks. And it's really not until, like I said, 1:30, 2 o'clock when the volume and the momentum really starts coming back into the markets. Now, it's not to say that this couldn't have a breakthrough here. I mean, you can have lunchtime breakouts and lunchtime breakdowns. It can happen. But in general, yeah, we're fighting the algorithmic trading bots. I always say it like it's like we're playing a game of chess against the computer. It's very difficult. So, Notre Dame's Adventures is back. Notre Dame. I call him Notre Dame. Sauger, same, but I go in a couple times a week. Software engineer. Okay, that's what's up, Sauger. That's awesome, man. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's good to have a nice little side hustle. I love Noter says, I love the VWAP crossover, but my favorite is the bounce off it. Yeah. Well, yeah, especially because you're long biased, right? It's a very good low bias or long biased strategy. I can't see this breaking through VWAP, so I think I'm going to go ahead and come out. So I'm ending the day up 742.41. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Americans for Hire, you're good, man. Contrades, CON, I guess maybe short for conservative trades. And thanks for all the help. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Anytime. Americans, the VWAP strat works best when it's driven by institutional buying. Yeah. Average 1.5 gain. It's good input, Noter. Good input. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna scour the market one more time real quick. I think we're done with Codex. I think we're good with APT. Looks like APT's trying to make this small little VWAP recovery here. Tesla's had a pretty good move, probably based on the SPY. Let's look at the SPY. Yeah, see, look at that. Look at these charts, guys. Like they're identical. This is Tesla. This is SPY. Very identical. SPY's making a comeback. It's trying to make its way back up through the 200-day moving average. ZM. Not much volume right now. I'm not interested. JD. JD has had a pretty significant move up. It's kind of tapped up off these levels here, so that's good. Here we go, guys. So this might be a trend line that gets respected. So it might be worth actually looking for a move down to VWAP on JD. Yeah. Or it's going to end up just coming all the way back through. This might, I'm missing out on it right now, but this is where I identify trend lines though. So if it came back up to the 70s or whatever, I might be looking to get in. This is where you want to be patient. You don't want to be greedy. You don't want to FOMO into this. Although it is on the, I will say this, on the 5-minute, it could close below the 9 EMA, and that would be significant enough to maybe, I wouldn't consider that FOMOing in. I would take a lesser of a share size, though. But anyway, so I'm going to keep my eye on that just for a minute, just in case I can make a little bit. I mean, I do have to get to the other job here. I've got some things to do, but I could at least take a position and then just set a stop. Let's see. See where this closes. We got 30 seconds left. And I'd be willing to risk 40 bucks. Could still close over 700 today. And that's about where it would be at the trend line breakout. Well, wouldn't be quite up there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with 100 shares short right here at 62. It closed above the 9 EMA, but I want to see if it can break through this trend line. And it's worth finding out, because if it makes a move down here, then we're looking on tacking on another 50 bucks probably. I think I could hold it to 42 or close to 42. So yeah, maybe scale out on the way down. Like at the break of 20, I might scale out, but I would like to add. So here's where the averaging in strategy would take place, because I would be fine with it coming all the way up here into the mid 70s. I would add back in, and then I would simply put a stop past the trend line. Now here's the thing, it does get tricky sometimes, especially with the algorithmic trading bots. So it might be one of those things where it breaks out past the trend line, but it closes below the trend line. So I might even would be willing to wait to see something like that happen. But let's just see what happens here. See what happens here. So I'm at 62. 71, 72, 90. Let's see where the 30-minute candle is. 43.05. Okay. Okay, it's right at that trend line. It's right at that trend line. If we get a trend line breakout, trust me, this will, because this is showing right now, it's showing a strong recovery from this sell-off. Okay, but still yet, I want to see if this trend line is respected. And if it is, we may even look to add. But we need to see where all of this closes out. So we're getting a breakthrough. But the question is does it close below the trend line? I'm going to see on the 1 minute and the 2 minute. I'm going to be tracking with them both, because this is critical. Popped above it, but can it hold? I'm not even watching, by the way, I'm not even watching level 2 right now. It doesn't matter to me. Right now, the pattern, the chart is what matters to me. I'm fine with losing, 20, 30, 40 bucks on this trade. So I've got the patience to let it work out right now. Okay, so there was a clear rejection off the 1 minute. What I would like to see is the 1 minute break through the 20 and hold below the 20 and start breaking down past 42.50. Wait, would it be 42.50? Excuse me, hold on. 42.55, yeah. And that's kind of where I would look to add. But again, if it breaks out and holds, especially if it breaks out and holds past the 5 minute. Very significant right there. We'll see what this does. While we're waiting, guys, those of you who are new to the channel, you should check out each of the episodes that I've released. I've now released 3 episodes in the series called The Trader's Mind. And they are episodes that I try to release on a weekly basis that are more geared towards trader psychology. Trader psychology is extremely important. Having a good fundamental understanding of trader psychology is a necessity for anybody who plans to make it as a day trader. You cannot do without. You cannot do without. And so I'm going to be continuing to release these, like I said, hopefully on a weekly basis. I'll be able to release them. And let's see here. We're looking like we're getting a breakout. Let's see. Did that close above it on the 5 minute? Technically it did. Technically it did. So we could be breaking out right now. We could definitely be breaking out. So I may just take the L on this, guys. So yeah. It's not looking good. Okay. All right. See if we can get a quick breakdown to 78. Unless this fails. I mean, we've got steady buy. We got steady buy volume. I'm almost wondering if it's going to do a double top thing over here at 42.90, but really I should just get out of it. I mean, we've definitely taken the L on this one. Let's see. Let me look at this. Let me just... Yeah, it's breaking past. Okay. All right. I'm going to buy out at 88. I'll wait for a pullback to 88. Hopefully we'll get that. Actually, with the way it's teetering, we could get a pullback back to like 84. I should have set a hard stop. Those are always easier to respect. Let's see here. 4307. So yeah. Okay. I'm gonna set a hard stop. 4301. And actually what I'll do, I'll see if I can average in here. Well, see if I can average in here and reduce the loss. Okay, let's see. Okay, never mind. Out. Okay, 702.41. Okay, for sure. So this is what I tell you guys, and I did not exercise, admittedly, I did not exercise the best discipline on that. I should have just got out when it, did that. But again, I told you guys I'm fine to put 30, 40 bucks on the line, which is basically what we did, $40. So anyway, it was worth it to see, just because, again, we are in that time where where algorithmic trading bots are kind of, and you never know if it's going to do this, like, little fake out up at these levels and then end up coming back down. But yeah, anyway, guys, I've got to get moving. But ending the day up $702.41. I'm fine with that. I'll take it. And I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for joining in. You guys have a good rest of the day. Take care. Americans for Hire, real quick. Sorry. Are you still here? Americans for Hire, are you still here? I've got a question for you because I just realized something in the chat. It said this message, your previous message was held for review. Was that done intentionally? That's my question. And if it was, if that was supposed to be something that I was not supposed to expound on, please let me know. It's because I'm almost wondering. I've never done this whole chat thing before. Like, do people submit questions that they don't want you to show, or was that something that YouTube just decided to hold off for review because it thought that there was questionable content or whatever? Sorry, guys. I hope I'm not sounding like too much of an idiot here, but I really have never done this junk before. So it would be very interesting to know. You think randomly YouTube decided, okay, cool. Because his message popped up, and now that I think about it, it's like, wait, maybe he didn't want me to read that out loud. Like, I'm not trying to be like, but I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't want me to read it out loud. It didn't look like there was anything, but anyway, I'm still learning how all this stuff works. So anyway, okay. All right, guys. It was good seeing you today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.